Welcome back, good people. This is another episode of Knockout Analysis, a combat sports podcast presented by Cronio Media. I am your host, Cron. This is your co-host, Mr. Whit Barnes, cross-playing this week as Felipe Lima, the fraud checker himself. We've got a treat for you guys today. Unfortunately, there is no fight card this week. So there's no prediction videos for us to give you for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a double decker. We're going to release this video and another video in short succession after this. And we're going to give you good people content for this week. We came up with this idea yesterday. This one was actually my idea. The other one that we'll do after this is Mr. Barnes' idea. Basically what we were thinking is, or I was telling Whit, wouldn't it be cool if we could go into the top 15 of every ranking of every weight class and remake them to what we think they should be? He said that'd be a cool idea for a video. So here we are. What we're going to do is we are going to go through the men's classes only for this video. We're going to go through each weight class, and we're either going to agree with the rankings or we're going to re-rank them how we would rank them if we were the ones in charge of said rankings. Without further ado, how we'll do this is we'll start with the class. We're going to go from 15 to 1, and we're going to go back and forth. This will be a ping pong match. I'll say, or Whit will say his, I'll say mine. Whit will say his, I'll say mine. Whichever order we do it, we will discuss as we see fit. If we believe it's just blatant disrespect, which we'll get there. Trust me, we'll get there. But this will make for a good one. They might get heated, who knows? I don't know. One way to find out. Let's move on to the flyweight division. Mr. Barnes, please give me your 15th ranked fighter.
Well, I did this list wrong initially, and we are not going to be including the champions. So I'm going to be going for my honorable mentions list, who I'd put at 15. That's what I'm going to do for the rest of these classes. I like Rafael Estevam. He's undefeated. He hasn't been super active, which is the case with some of these flyweights that we're going to talk about. But he has a win over Charles Johnson in 2023. He had some issues with weight. And then he has a win over Jesus Aguilar. He's undefeated. He seems to be very well-rounded. I liked his last fight, in which he dominated. I think he's going to need to get some finishes to get into the rankings. But I like him as a young and up-and-coming prospect at 15.
At 15. My 15th ranked fighter, I'm going to go with the Peruvian man himself, Kevin Borjas. We just watched him and talked about him in a fight night card a couple weeks ago. A couple months ago now. He beat Rodriguez, I believe was who he beat. Yes, it was Rodriguez. That's the guy with the crazy nickname, El Gallo Negro. I believe that means either the black rooster or the black chicken, one of those two. I think it's rooster. I got him at number 15 for me. I believe that win that he dominated that last win. So I believe that win would be enough, in my opinion, to get him into the rankings at 15 to round out the rankings. Who you got for 14, Mr. Barnes? By the way, what I'm also going to do, not previously stated, they have at 15 in the UFC rankings, they have Kai Asakura as the 15th ranked fighter. So who do you got for 14, Mr. Barnes?
Well, I have an Asian, but not Kai Asakura. I have Kyoji Horiguchi. He just re-signed with the UFC after a long stint of not being there. He went 8-1 in his first stint. His only loss was a championship fight to Demetrius Johnson. He was the third-ranked flyweight when he left. He is not going to be making his debut in Azerbaijan, as previously mentioned, but he's back. He's going to be back later this year. I don't know who he's going to fight, but I expect it's going to be somebody in the rankings, and I think he's going to be able to beat anybody in that bottom five that they have currently in the Ultimate Fighting Championship rankings. Very well-rounded, very experienced, Rhythm champ. Had a few fights in Bellator at the championship level as well. Gotta respect the competition.
At 14, for me, I have him drop 3 spots from where he actually is. I have my 14th ranked fighter being Tim Elliott. Tim Elliott, he's on a little. I mean, he's got some decent wins in his last few fights, but he hasn't fought since 2023. For me, you being in the rankings has a lot to do with how active you are. So if you're not very active, I don't think you should be as high as 11. He's on a win loss win right now. He did beat Sumodarje by submission at the end of 2023. So I don't see, Sumodarje is not a bad win after what we've seen in the last couple of months. But I don't see, when you're not very active, you haven't fought for a full calendar year. I don't see that you deserve to be in the 11th spot, but I also don't think he deserves to completely off the list. So I'll put him at 14 in my rankings. The 14th ranked fighter is Joshua Van on UFC. So who
I
do
don't
you
have,
have for Mr.
see, I don't have Tim Elliott in my rankings for the kind of the same reasons you said. He is lower in activity, and he also had a grappling match earlier this year for Tapology, and he lost very early in that. He is going to be fighting. Well, there's rumors. I haven't had it confirmed by any of my super credible sources, but I think he will be fighting Kaya Sakura. I don't think he's going to win. He's older. With his lack of activity and not any major ranked wins, it's hard for me to put him there. But because he's 11th, I can understand putting him in there. I like the prospects. I like the prospects. But
Yeah,
14,
number 14 on the cards, like I said, is Joshua Van. You heard Mr. Barnes say that he does not have Tim Elliott in his top 15. Tell us who you got at 13, good Barnes.
13, I got Andre Muscote Lima. This guy has been active. He was the first guy that we talked about. He's one of the. I think he was on the first card that we talked about. He's beaten Mitch
Indeed.
Raposo. He's beaten Daniel Barres. He beat Felipe dos Santos, and he's having a fight later this year. This will be his. It'll be his fourth fight in the last 18 months. He finally got a finish against Barres. I think he's going to get another finish. I don't remember who he was scheduled to fight. I think it was probably about the same level of opponents he's been fighting. He gets another finish. I think he's going to be in the rankings. He's young. He's very well rounded, as he proved with his BJJ submission in his last fight, along with his high level kickboxing acumen. I think the sky's the limit. Ceiling is the roof, as
As
Jordan would
some
say.
would say. All right, for 13 for me, I've got Kaya Sakura. I believe that Kaya Sakura being at 15 is a little bit lower than he should be in the real rankings. No, he just suffered a defeat. His defeat was, as we talked about, his defeat was to the current champion who hasn't lost in what, like 8 years or some shit like that. So I believe that was. I think me and you have talked about him before. If he came over and that was his very first fight, he immediately got a title shot. And I don't think Mr. Barnes is a huge fan of Kaya Sakura, but you deserve to be in the rankings when your very first fight was a title fight. You did get submitted, but I'll keep you at 13. They've got at 13 in the actual rankings, they have Ramazan Tamirov. Oof, excuse me. So go ahead and tell the great people out there who you've got at number 12, Mr. Barnes.
Yeah, I mean, it's very generous and nice of you to put Kai in there. Now, I like Charles Johnson at 13. Um, I think he's been very disrespected by the matchmaking in his career. He had that win over Azat Maxim, who was 15-0. His first like big win here in the UFC. He lost three straight before that. Two other great fighters. Cody Durden was ranked for a really long time. Esteban was on my list. He's a great prospect as well. But he went on a 4-fight win streak against the one and only Joshua Vance, Sumit Dirje, Jake Hadley, who is having some success in the PFL right now. So he faced a lot of good guys and he got a lot of wins, but they gave him Ramazan Tamirov. They kept giving him prospects. They never gave him any fights up the rankings for whatever reason, even though he's very well liked amongst the fans. I think he deserves to still be in the rankings. I do not believe the UFC have him in there currently. I like the skullet. I think it's very unique. It gets the people going. And I'm gonna give him credit where credit is due. Shout out to Charles Johnson, man. What you got,
So
bro?
you got Charles Johnson at 12.
Indeed.
For me, I have Andre Lima at number 12. I gave him a spot higher than you, and you're a diehard Andre Lima fan, which is kind of crazy. But I don't need to repeat everything that Whit already said about Andre Lima. He's very exciting. He finally got his first finish. Sky's the limit. The roof is the limit. All that good stuff. Currently, number 12 is Bruno Silva, the Bulldog, on the flyweight rankings. Which, spoiler alert, Whit might like this one. He did not make my top 15.
I
Who
understand.
do you got for number 11, Mr. Barnes?
I think Bruno Silva's run has been very Mickey Mouse. He is a good story because he lost his first three fights in the UFC and then he won four by knockout. I think he was losing some of those fights before he fluked to knockout. But good for him for getting in the rankings. He's not neither of ours. At number 11, give me Ramazan Tamirov, man. I've got to put him above Charles Johnson because of that win. I don't think it was a fluke. I think it was a very close fight. I think he's a great fighter I think it's Uzbekistan. I think that's it. It's Uzbekistan or Kazakhstan, one of the stands. Nope, it's Uzbekistan. That says it. Um, he's had some good wins. He has two finishes, actually one finish. He has three of his last four fights are finishes. Two of those are in Risen, and then he has a fight with Charles Johnson. That's a very respectable win. He's very short, stocky, very good on the ground, a lot of power on the feet. I don't know if the ceiling is the roof for him, but it just might be. He's a younger prospect out of that great country that I just mentioned, and on an 11 fight win streak as well. I think that I'm going to keep him where he is, and we'll see where he goes. What you got?
For number 11, I have Alex Perez dropping 4 spots from where he currently is. A little too streaky for my liking. He has lost to some good competition, but he keeps losing. So, I mean, it's been almost a year now since he's fought. So you question maybe the activity as well. Before last year, he fought 3 times, but before that, he didn't fight for 2 years. I'm not sure if that was via injury or if it was just a layoff, but maybe activity issues for him. I drop him all the way to 11, and I believe I already mentioned the number 11 ranked fighter currently in that division is Tim Elliott. So who would be thinking for number 10, Mr. Barnes?
I got Tagir Bekov at my number 10. I think he's a very good fighter. Another fighter we're going to talk about the lack of activity. He's fighting once a year. Cody Durden's a great win, a great guy to finish, especially so we have other guys up the rankings that have done it. He's beaten Alan Nascimento. He's beaten Bruno Silva. Clayton Carpenter was his most recent fight. And I think that's kind of disrespectful that they gave him that fight. I think they should have given him somebody a little high level. He trains with Khabib. He's getting a little bit up there for flyweight at 33, 33, 34. He is in his prime, but he's near the middle, the end of it. I think he should be getting a fight up the rankings, and he's not getting that. He's getting Azat Maxim, who I briefly talked about a few minutes ago, 15, 16, and 1 prospect. So I think he's going to really need to put on and go get a finish and show he's more active to get a fight up the rankings. But I like his skill set. Team Khabib, all those guys are incredibly versatile over there. I'm gonna give him that ranking. And what do you got?
Number 10, I got Steve Urseg. I got him dropping a spot from where he is actually at. Suffered a loss to Brandon Moreno. It was a competitive fight, kind of. But when we're talking about Urseg, besides the fact that he looks like he drives a free candy van for a living, he suffered three straight losses. So, my opinion, even though they were good losses, you still don't deserve to be not 10 in the top 10, if that makes any sense. So, I got him at number 10 in this one. The 10th current ranked fighter in the UFC is actually Tagir, so you have him exactly where he is. So, who do you have for number 9, Mr. Barnes?
Hilarious you mentioned Steve Ursek because I actually did not put him on my list, and I wanted he should be on it. Just know that Steve Urseg should be somewhere on this list, probably around where it's probably we probably would have had him at the same spot at 10. I'm not gonna mention him. I would probably just drop my 15th guy off. But Steve Urseg, good fighter. We're gonna carry on though with number 9 to the one, the only Joshua Van. Joshua Van's young. He's active. He has a fan-friendly fighting style. This dude, the UFC's done a great job of getting him winnable fights that he just straight up dominates. And I think he's going to dominate Bruno Silva in his very next fight. This dude throws a lot of volume punches. Is he going to get a lot of finishes doing that at flyweight? No. A lot of guys don't finish with strikes at flyweight. I think the knockout leader all time is Figueiredo, and it's 5 knockouts. So it just doesn't happen too much. He dominated Ray Cerrutia, dominated Cody Durden, dominated Edgar Chairez, slipped on a banana peel against Charles Johnson, who I also believe is a good fighter. And he also beat Kevin Borjas, who was on Cron's board as well. You know, these are a lot of good wins. He has a high level of activity. He's only been in the UFC since 2023, and this dude already has 6 fights. And he's going on 7 here whenever he fights Bruno Silva at 317. This guy's getting better right before our very eyes. Like I said, he's young, he's broke, he's infamous, and he's hungry. 23 years old, born in 2001. Shit. This dude is the truth, and I'm glad he's taking it slow, and I hope he continues to take his career seriously and move up the rankings.
So, I'm going to be guilty in the same boat as Mr. Barnes here. Joshua Van's not on my list, and it's not because I don't think he deserves to be on it, because I forgot about him. So, that being said, we're just going to act like I didn't. And my 9th ranked fighter is Almabayev. I believe his first name is Asu. He just suffered a loss in his last fight here in March, but before that, 2 straight wins. They have him ranked at 8 on the actual rankings, so I feel like me having him at 9 is not too far of a stretch. I believe I would drop him a spot, and I would give him the 9 spot. That being said, the current 9th ranked fighter is Steve Urseg. So I have him down 1 and Almabayev down 1. Who we got for number 8? Senior Barnes.
Well, I got Alex Perez. He's had a lot of canceled bouts throughout his career for one reason or another. Don't really know the circumstances, but he has very many of them. He's lost to Pantoja and Figueiredo. What a tough 2 back-to-back guys to have to fight, even though it was a 2-year layoff in between them. Mateus Nicolau is a much better win on paper. He was a top 10 flyweight before the UFC decided to not re-sign him for whatever reason. You know, Mateus Nicolau, I think he's pretty damn good. I don't understand why they want to retain his services. But that's Tsuru Taira fight. It's it's kind of a weird one. It's a fight that I thought he was winning both rounds in. Then, yeah, it was Tyra was on top of him, like on his back in a body triangle while Perez was standing up with him, and his ACL just explodes, and the fight was over, and he lost it. So he's probably not going to fight. Maybe not till the end of this year, early next year. I think the merit is there. I think he's put in the work. I think he can beat some of the guys below him. Maybe not Josh Van or maybe not Josh Van, but I think he can beat a lot of the guys below him. I think he can put on very good fights with them. I'm going to keep him relatively close to where he's ranked. I think he is ranked a little bit too high, though. What do you got?
For number 8, I've got Manel. Is it Cape? Is it just Cape?
Yeah, that's him.
I got
Number 3.
Manel Cape. I'm gonna drop him 2 spots. Calls himself Starboy, obviously. He has 2 straight wins here, but I don't know. I think the people that I got ahead of him are just a little bit better, higher level fighters. So I'm gonna keep him at 8 here. Currently, like I just stated, last fighter Asu Amabayev is the 8th ranked current fighter. We'll flip it on a dime here. I'll go with my number 7 first. I got Tagir Ulanbekov. I know there is the activity concerns with him, but man, when he fights, he absolutely produces. And I think that Ulanbekov has a real shot to take a run at the title here in this flyweight division. I think once he gets a little bit higher in the actual rankings, he might start taking it a little bit more serious and fight more often. But I don't know, man. I think that Tagir belongs in the 7th spot in my rankings. What do you got?
I got a Sual Mumbayev, pretty close to where you had him. He recently fought Manel Cape as well. Very good fighter. Manel Cape is on his way to a title shot currently. Asil Mabayev is still pretty young in his UFC career. Did get a finish early on against Ode Osborne, beat a few jobbers. Mateus Nicolau, that was not an entertaining fight because Mateus Nicolau, I think this is why he got cut, really. I'm going to answer my own question that I had earlier. But this is why they cut him. It was the last fight in his contract, and he didn't throw any output because he was so scared Asu was going to take him down. Asu was very good on the ground. And what kind of did him in Manel Cat fight was he didn't throw a lot of volume. He has a lot of very flashy strikes. Asu does, so does Cape, but he has a lot of very flashy strikes, but he doesn't throw with a lot of volume. And in order to move up in this division and be able to beat the elites like Royval, Moreno, Pantoja even, you're going to have to throw some volume or you're going to have to be absolutely lights out on the ground, which is very, very difficult to do because the wrestling in this division is all. If you're in the top 10 in this division, you can wrestle. You can wrestle or you're very good at scrambling and defending takedowns. So he's going to have to improve something if he wants to reach the upper echelons. But I like what I've seen from him. I think he beats anybody below him at this moment. What do we got
Now
for
we
6?
got in the actual rankings, Alex Perez is number 7. I'll move us on real quick to number 6. For me, at number 6, I've got Kai Kara France on this at number 6. I'm going to drop him a couple spots here. He suffered 2 straight losses, got himself back on track with a knockout win over Steve Urseg. But again, it's been almost a year now since he's fought, so I believe he has a fight coming up here soon, if I do remember correctly. But I got him dropping 2 spots from where he is now at. I've got him being on my list at number 6. What say you in the matter, Mr. Barnes?
I got Tetsuro, man. Tetsuro, we made this channel about 8 months ago. Would probably be kind of known that I'm not super high on him. Not high on him as the public was generally, because everybody was saying he was going to go run to the belt. And he was a massive favorite against Brandon Royval, which I thought was very disrespectful. They proved it in the ring. Tetsuro Taira is lights out on the ground, is very good there. But against the top 2 guys, you have to be able to throw a punch. Tetsuro Taira's striking is very lackluster. and that's something that he's going to have to work on. He's still in his 20s, still early in his career. I think a belt or a challenge for the title could be in his future, but he needs to work on his striking from top to bottom. I don't think he's a top five fighter right now. I think Albazi beats him whenever they fight. Albazi's a little bit of a better striker. They're about the same. They're about the same fighter, truthfully, just from different places in Asia. And I like him, just not a whole lot more than these other guys I got ahead of him.
The current sixth ranked fighter is Manel Cape. Um, are we at six? Yeah, okay. Number five on my list, I'm gonna go ahead and leave him exactly where he is on the actual rankings, and that would be Tatsuro Taira. Not gonna spend too much time talking about him because you just did. That being said, who do you have at number five?
I got Mir Prince Albazi. They're about to fight. I think they're about at the same level. I think the striking for Albazi is a little bit better, as previously mentioned. He has some good wins in the UFC. A lot of people include, well, I'm not going to say it's a robbery. It was a close fight with Kai Kara. I think it could have gone either way. I think it's very popular to say that fight's a robbery. There's some fights that are very popular for people to say that about and say they just ride the wave. But I like Amir Albazi. Don't like him better than anybody above him. I kind of said about Statsuro. Kind of the same fighter, young in their career. He had a spinal surgery before his last fight with Brandon Moreno, so wasn't in the ring for quite some time. But he looked decent. But Brandon Moreno, he was the best flyweight in the world that night, I will say. And the fact that Albazi was able to weather the storm and not get finished is a feat in itself because he was on absolute fire. What do I see in the future for Amir Albazi? I don't know. I think the ceiling's a little bit higher for Tyra because he's younger, but he
I
doesn't
just
have
realized
a major injury. But
I just realized I'm gonna come up a fighter short here because I was being an idiot and I looked at my rankings and number one on this, I just looked, number one is Pantoja. So I'm gonna come up a fighter short. I'm gonna fix it right now. I'm gonna put fucking Joshua Van at number. Didn't you?
Amir Albazi, sure, he's my number 5 or 6, whatever we're at.
What a nice guy. We're at number. We're at number five now. Amir Albazi. No, we're at number four. Number four. Yes, four. That's crazy. I have Amir Albazi at number four too. In the actual rankings, Kai Kara France is at number four. I'll make this short and sweet, and we'll finish up the flyweight here real quick. I got Brandon Royval at three. I've got Brandon Moreno at two. I think he's a little better than Royval in my opinion, and then obviously the champion at one. But see, this is why I told you I come up a fighter short. But go ahead and give me your top three, and then we'll move on to the next class.
I got Manel at 4. I got Kara at 3. I didn't really stray too far from the rankings on this, but I got Manel at 4. I got Kara at 3. I got Moreno at 2, and I got Royval at 1.
And obviously the current champ, Pantoja. Believe he fights soon too, no?
Our fight's pretty soon. They're about to fight at 317, them and Kai Kara. The co-main
Yep,
event,
there
5
it is.
rounds.
Oh no, I didn't. My 15th ranked fighter was actually O'Day Osborne. I just missed it on here. But I still missed Joshua Van. Anyways, on to bantamweight. I'm gonna start us off here. Obviously, current champion Merab Dvalishvili will be fighting Sean O'Malley in just a couple weeks for the current bantamweight title. We'll start from the bottom. At 15 for me, I have at 15 for me, I got Marcus McGee. What say you in the matter, Mr. Barnes?
And I got Kyler Phillips. I don't think his last performance was too impressive. I think he's slightly overranked on the EFCs. Rob Font clobbered him, owned him.
That's incredible. I have at 14, I've got Cody Garbrandt. I know it's probably not going to be the most popular one to have on here. I like him better than I like the other guys that are currently in that spot. Um, so
No
I
love.
got, hmm,
No love. Cody, no
yeah,
love.
I got Garbrandt in here. Not going to spend too much time. We'll spend a little bit more time talking about these guys that are a little higher up the rankings. But these absolute bozos that are down here that are still good fighters that are ranked, we're not going to spend too much time talking about them. Who do you got at 14, Mr. Barnes?
I got Vinicius Oliveira. He's ranked 15 right now, I believe, on UFC. I think he's pretty
And
solid. He's young.
that would be correct. At 13, I believe we are now going to start what I would refer to as controversial. At number 13, I have Henry Cejudo at 13. Reason being, he's lost his last three fights in a row. Hasn't fought since, well, I think he fought earlier this year, but he lost that fight as well. I can't keep you that high in the rankings where they have you now if you've lost three straight fights. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. You're at 13 on my list, bud. What do you got, Mr. Barnes?
13, man. I got Marlon Vera. He didn't throw any output. I don't think he beats anybody in the top 10.
You know what? Now I don't
He's
feel so bad.
over.
I don't feel so bad about where I got Cheeto now. Number 12, I have the fraudulent Muslim Canadian himself, Amin Zahabi, however the fuck you say his name. He just took out our sweet king of Rio, Jose Aldo, in a fraudulent decision victory.
Wow,
So
man.
that's enough out of Amin Zahabi. He's actually a pretty decent fighter, so I'll keep him at 12. What do you got, Mr. Barnes?
I got Marcus McGee. I think he's a good fighter. I don't know if he's a great fighter. There's a lot of ranking sites that have him in the top 10. Jonathan Martinez almost was able to pull it out at the end. I like him. I don't love him. If he's fighting Peter Yan like it's rumored, he's going to get finished.
He's going to get clobbered, is what he's going to get. Mr. Barnes is not going to like this. At number 11, I have Raul Rosas Jr. at number 11. He's beaten everyone that's got thrown at him so far. I think that he's getting a real shot here. He might get into the rankings soon. The UFC likes him and his QEE enough that they might give him a fast track to the title if he can get into the ranking.
And you already know. Everybody knows what I think about the dude. He loses to
Wee
anybody
woo, wee woo.
on it. Even to Marlon Vera, he's about to lose. But I have my good friend Mario Batista here at 11.
He's not
I
even
don't
in
like
my
him.
top 15.
I don't like him. He has some decent wins other than his last one against Jose Aldo. But our good friend Patchy Mix, I think, will shun the
He'll fix
non-believers.
that. Well, number 10, Whit will like this one. I've got Montel Quick Jackson at
I
number
got
10. Well, see, I'm just trying to give him some credit here. Quick Jackson, he's got quick hands. Obviously, Whit will forever mention the 18-second knockout of Damon Blackshear. And Montel Quick Jackson at number 10 for me. So, I'm going to let Whit give his number 10. I'm going to tell you in order from 15 to 10 what the actual rankings are on UFC after he says his 10.
I got Cejudo. I think he might lose to a few of the people I had below him, but he's won 3 championships. His last fight was kind of controversial. He's old. He's probably only has one more fight in him, so he probably won't be here very much longer anyway.
From 15 to 10, we've got Oliveira, like Whit said, Montel Jackson at 14, Marcus McGee at 13, Kyler Phillips at 12, Amin Zahabi at 11, and Mario Bautista at 10. For my number 9, I have Cheeto Vera. Kind of like Whit said, he doesn't throw enough volume to beat any of these guys that are way up here in the rankings. Everyone talked so much shit when he went to go fight Sean O'Malley for him to take an absolute knee to the chin and lose that fight in absolutely embarrassing fashion. So that being said, I've got him at number 9. once he loses his next fight, he'll probably fall, maybe even off the rankings. And that'll probably be it for him. He likes to have cool cars, and he pulled a shotgun on somebody where he's from, so that's cool.
I mean, absolute young menace, Marlon Cheeto Vera.
Indeed. Who do you have at number 9, Senior?
I got Patrick Mix. I think he's gonna
I
do
didn't
Mario Batista.
see. I didn't put him on my list because I'm a little iffy about putting people on my list that haven't even fought.
Yeah. The second
Obviously
guy,
he's fought. He's fought and he's put on like he's a champion in another organization, but I don't know, man. Can't do it.
I think he's gonna. This is giving away my pick, obviously, for 316. I think he's gonna beat. I think he's beating Mario Batista. It's kind of preemptive. Obviously, I'll renounce his good name if he can't finish Mario Batista or beat him. But I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna stand on business.
Number 8 couldn't be more opposite from where you were at with him. I've got Kyler Matrix Phillips at number 8. I do like him. Maybe it's because he has long hair and I have long hair. I don't know, but I think he's a pretty decent fighter. So I've got him at number 8. Who do you have at number 8, Mister?
MQJ, give me Montel Coy Jackson, the boogeyman of the bantamweight division. That's all I gotta say about him. We'll talk
Damn
about him
right.
once again. We'll talk about
At
him when he fights.
number 7 for me, I've got the kickboxer himself, Rob Font. Got him one spot. I think this was one spot up from where he actually is. Yeah, I've got him one spot up from where he actually is in the rankings. So I got Rob Font, the kickboxer himself. Who do you have, Mr. Barnes?
I mean, we're in unison, man. Since he's switched gyms, he's been back on his title run, being two prospects in a row, being Kyler Phillips and being Gene Matsumoto. I like where he sits. I like where we have him.
Right. Number 7 on my, or am I tripping here? No, I'm not.
I think we're at 6.
Number 6, yeah, that's right. Number 6 on my list, I've got Davison Figueiredo. It's going to be a while before he fights again, obviously, with the injury that he has, but I have him sitting exactly where he is on this list. I don't know how you feel on the matter, Mr. Barnes, but after you reveal your sixth fighter, I will say in order from 9 to 6, the actual rank.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm pretty close on it as well. I got Song Yadong though. Before I'm gonna say Davison next. Spoiler alert. Song Yadong, his last win was kind of controversial. That Cejudo fight was really weird. I think he was winning. I think he was gonna win anyways. But I want to see him fight a little bit more. I think he could have a title challenge in his future.
So from 9 to 6, we have in the actual rankings, we have Henry Cejudo, Rob Font, Marlon Cheeto Vera, and Davison Figueiredo. I left Figueiredo where he lie on the list. And spoiler alert for me, everyone else on this list is in the same order as the rankings. So I'm just going to go ahead and say my top 5 now. Song Yadong, Corey Sandhagen, Umar Nurmagomedov, Peter Yan, and Sean O'Malley. That is the actual top 5 in the rankings. Do you have anything differing from that, Mr. Barnes?
I am about the same. I have Davison, Sandhagen, Umar, Jan, and Sean. That's my only differential on it because I am biased and I am a Figueredo super stan. But yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with the rankings. I like where everything sits. The title picture is very clear for who should be fighting for it, and we'll see what happens 2 weeks or 18 days from now, whatever it is.
For sure.
18
Um, on to featherweight, newly crowned champion of featherweight, not new, but newly crowned. Or Alexander Volkanovski reclaimed his title after he defeated Diego Lopez in quite dominating fashion. I'll start us off quick here. Again, we'll try to keep the discussions to a minimum until we get to guys that are worth our time. I've got Calvin Qatar at 15. Who do you got?
15. See, I got Fighter Emil. He's been on a tear. He's been underrated. He's been an underdog. He started his career a little bit later. Shout out to the dogs downstairs that are barking. It's about to be that time. It's about to
It's
be Gene Silva time.
what are the fucking odds, brother? What
It's
are
about
the
to be
odds? We're
Silva
in
time.
Gene Silva's division and we're hearing dogs barking downstairs.
Indeed. But I like Hyder Emil. He's a little bit older. We'll see where he goes. I think he deserves a shot at the rankings with his last two performance over William Gomez and the South Korean dude he landed a 36 punch combo on. We'll see where it goes, Cron. What do you got at 14?
14, probably not the most popular pick here, but I think Bryce Mitchell still deserves to be on the top 15. So I've got him at 14 here. Obviously, suffered a submission defeat to Jean Silva in the last fight, but for what you'll see when you figure out where I've got Silva at, that why I think that he still deserves to be in the top 15. Who do you got, Mr. Barnes?
See, this is kind of preemptive, you could say. This guy only has two current fights. He's very young. And I do this a few more times in further rankings, but I really like what I've seen from Felipe Jungle Boy Lima. I think he's a blue chip
Fraud
level
checker.
prospect. He's going to be in this spot very, very soon. I think by the end of 2026, he will be in these rankings. And I'm going to put him there now because I don't think there's a lot of guys that are unranked that can touch him, truthfully. And I think he could beat three guys that are currently in the top 15. What do we got?
At 13 for myself, I have Nathaniel Wood. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about him. What do you got at 13?
I got Steve Garcia, the knockout king right now, knocking out everybody.
Knocking out bozos. Number 12 on my side, I've got Giga Chikadze. No, he just suffered a defeat in his last fight, I do believe. Um, but I've got him still at 12 here. What do you got?
I got 50K Ige, man. He looked great in his last fight. All I have to say about that win and him being an underdog is people forget.
People forget, man. I got a little bit of an interesting one for you here at 11. I've got Andre Touchy Feely in here at number 11.
Sante. I am a stan. I am a stan. Shout out to Andre Fili. He's a very good guy. But me, I put Patricio in here. I put
Pitbull.
Patricio in here. He's gonna be here, one way or another. He's gonna beat somebody. He's gonna get a top 11 to 15 matchup. I think he's gonna beat any of those guys.
At number 10, and then again after Whit announces his 10th pick here, or his number 10 guy, I'll go from 15 to 10 and let you know who's who in the actual rankings. But at number 10 for me, I've got 50K Ige.
I got Yusuf Zalal. Not the most entertaining fighting style, but he got the job done in his last one. Calvin Cater should have put his foot on the gas.
For sure. So from 15 to 10 in this division, we have Calvin Qatar, 50K Ige, David Onama, Yusuf Zalal, Jean Silva, and Josh Emmett in here for the actual. I just realized that I have done something else incredibly Actually, you know what? Fuck that. I'm standing on business. Aljamain Sterling's not on my list. I'm standing on business. Number 9, I've got David Onama. He's not the most popular fighter in the world, but I've got him at number 9 here. If my memory suits me correct, this dude just fought last month. Yeah, it hadn't even been a month since he's fought last, so super active, or at least he's trying to be. I got David Onama at 9 here.
Boo. Um, I'll take Josh Emmett, the 40-year-old wonder, the Bryce Mitchell killer.
Number 8, I've got Josh Emmett, so not too far off. The Bryce Mitchell killer himself. Suffered a pretty dominating loss to Lerone Murphy, but, I got Lerone Murphy a little higher on the board, so not a bad loss in my opinion. Who you got for number 8, Mr. Barnes?
I got Lerone Murphy. Love Josh Emmett. A lot of people booed him. That card was also completely garbage from top to bottom. They were gonna boo him anyway. He's 17-0. You gotta respect it.
Number 7 for me, I've got Lerone Murphy right above Josh Emmett. As you just said, the last card that he fought on versus Emmett, that was the only fight on there that was worth a shit to watch. I believe that was the fabled and absolutely dreaded Torres Finney card.
Dare you
And
speak his name? How dare
and
you speak
for
his
that
name?
reasons, for those reasons, we're absolutely disgusted by what we witnessed. And yeah, they deserve to get booed just because they fought on the same card. But I got Lerone Murphy at 7. What say you in the matter?
I got Brian Ortega. He's fought with good guys, but I think he's on a downward trajectory at this point. His chin isn't there, and his boxing defense is porous. He's gonna get exploited.
At number 6, I have Brian Ortega, and I've got him one spot up, probably because I said Aljo's a bitch and moved everyone up. Anyways, who do you got at 6? And then I'll go from 9 to 6 and tell the good people who's actually where.
Well, this is where I got Aljamain Sterling, former champ. I think that fight with Mosar was much more contested than judges would imagine. That's all I got to say about him.
What a not nice guy. From 9 to 6, we have Aljo, Lerone Murphy, Brian Ortega, and Arnold Allen as the from 9 to 6. For number 5 for myself, I have Gene Lord Silva at number 5. Mr. Barnes,
Congratulations.
I absolutely love watching Gene Silva fight. I think he may have quickly become one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. He's very fun to watch. He is very big into theatrics. He might be autistic, but it's fun to watch nonetheless.
And people forget. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna keep Yair Panseiro Rodriguez where he's at. Decent fighter. I really don't want to see him fight at UFC 320. He does not deserve a title rematch after losing two out of his last three. He's decent. I think he should fight Diego Lopez. That would be an incredibly fun fight considering the beef they have.
Yeah, I got at number 4 is where I have Yair Rodriguez, kind of previously as you just mentioned. He had a good win in his last fight. Might get another shot at a title here soon. But Yair Rodriguez, I'll keep him at number 4, which I believe is where he's at. Yes, that's where he's at normally. Now, I want people to understand if there's anyone that's following along with this in the UFC rankings on UFC.com while we're doing this or they're watching the video, you will not hear Ilia Topuria or Max Holloway's name on this list for the uh, current division, the featherweight division, because they're not in the division. Ilia Topuria vacated, and Max Holloway's been fighting in lightweight for the last few years, so they're not going to be on this list. So if we get any comments asking where they're at for featherweight, that would be where they're at. They're not going to be here.
As soon as Max's next fight starts, because he did just fight. The reason Max still ranks is because he did fight for the featherweight title. That's why I still kept him there. But I believe as soon as his next fight starts with Dustin, he will no longer be on the UFC rankings, from what I know. That's how it should be. But Cron, we were close to very much agreeing on this. I got Gene Silva. I got Gene Silva as my fourth guy. I think he's a superstar. He's a superstar winning all over him. He has knockout power. He's great at defending the grappling, and he pulled off a submission against a submission artist. That's incredible. That is an I am him moment in sports history right there. And I gotta show him some love.
I got to show the guy that I've got at number 3 some love. I have the one, the only, almighty Arnold Allen at number 3. What say you on that matter, Mr. Barnes?
I got Diego Lopez at 3. I think he's slightly overrated. I think he's a very good fighter nonetheless. Good everywhere. But he got some ways to go if he's gonna ever hold that strap.
Well, I have at number 2 I have Malsar Evloev at number 2, and that would leave you to believe. I'll just go ahead and say it. I've got Diego Lopez at number 1. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be number 1, considering he was the one that they chose to fight Holloway for the belt. Or not Holloway, fucking Volkanovski for the belt. Was fairly competitive in that fight. Did look like he was lost for a round or two, but it was fairly competitive, and Volk got his title back. So I think that Diogo Lopez is number 1 contender. So what do you got for your last two?
Billy Allen at number 2. That fucking guy. Please give him a title shot, Dana. He's not going to get one, though. He's probably going to have to beat somebody else. He needs to return. Wherever the fuck he's at. He's probably lifting big weights and putting meat on the grill right now. That's the kind of fucking guy he is. Also, I have Loef. I don't want to put him here. I don't want to put him here. I don't want to put him here. He's boring as hell. Not Max Holloway. Well, Volkanovski's the champion. We need Volkanovski to beat him badly so he doesn't fight for the belt again. So let's put him at 1 for now. He's 19-0.
He is indeed 19-0. That will
Mm-hmm.
conclude the featherweight portion. So let's move on now to the lightweight. Again, you may have, but I do not have Taporia in here for the uh, rankings because he's about to fight for the title. I see no reason to put him on here. They don't have him ranked on the UFC website, so I'm not ranking him on here. He's just going to fight for the title. I mean, that is what it is. If not, I'm sure he'll come out as the number 1 contender. But at 15, it pains me to do it. But at 15, I have Michael Chandler. He's currently ranked, I think, 12th, but I don't think he should be ranked at all. But I couldn't do it to him. He got absolutely clobber fucked in front of his black son last at 314. And, I can't do that. We're all about diversity inclusion in this establishment, so I'll go ahead and let him stay at 15, even though he is now red from the blood blisters he got from Patty Pimblett. So who do you got at 15, Mr. Barnes?
I put Grant Halfguard Dawson at 15. Not exciting to watch. Could not finish middle tier guys, but he's in the rankings. It's going to take him a lot of decision victories to be able to climb further. If you're going to try to give him unranked guys in his chase for gold. So he's going to have to keep on winning if he's not getting finishes. What we got?
I have, for 14, I have Fares Ziam, a guy that's on the come up right now. I think he's won his last 3 UFC fights in a row. I think he should be ranked 14th. What do you get?
Yeah, man, don't let that guy knee you in the clinch. I got Mauricio Huffy. I think I could have put him higher, but I decided not to, just to try to be nice. He's gonna be up there though. I think the ceiling's through the roof for him.
At number 13, I have, as you just described him, Grant Halfguard Dawson. I won't talk about him because you already did. What do you got?
I got Alvarez, Joel. There's rumors that he's moving up to welterweight, but I've seen another rumor that the UFC is going to give him a big fight to try to keep him at lightweight. He's a good young fighter. I like him. He's long for the division if he stays.
At number 12, I've got a rather interesting one, I do believe. I've got Chase the Gooner Hooper at number 12 in this division. He is on a little bit of a win streak right now. He's pretty entertaining to watch, in my opinion. He likes to wrestle, but it's pretty entertaining to watch him try to get people in submissions. I got the Gooner here at number 12.
Much respect, much love. And give me Ignacio Bahamondes. He's fighting pretty soon at UFC Baku. Long, strong fighter. Beat Jalen Turner very quickly. That's impressive. Much respect, much love. Shout out Ignacio.
Number 11, I've got Mauricio Rufy, otherwise known as the Wheel Kick Man that knocked out King Green, the absolute bum that he is, King Green. I got Mauricio Rufy, the fighting nerd, at number 11.
CO. Yeah. Next, give me Michael Chandler. He's entertaining. He's makes stupid mistakes in his fights, but I think everybody that I listed below him would lose to him, besides probably Mauricio Ruffy. Um, I think he has something left in the tank. I don't think he's obviously gonna go for the belt at this point. He's old, and a lot of these guys have already beaten him. Oliveira beat him twice, and Patty Pimblett just embarrassed him on live television. What do you got, Crump?
He just wants to fight Conor McGregor. That's the only reason he's still in the UFC. He just wants Conor McGregor to get his house in order so he can fight him. That's really all there is to it. He was a little bit too fucked up for them to give him the mic after Patty Pimblett. So, no Conor McGregor call out. That was kind of a letdown. That being said, at number 10, I've got Joel Alvarez here. And then after you say your number 10, I'll do the same thing that I have been doing.
I got Renato Moicano here at 10.
Hey, fuck
Good
that guy. He's
fighter.
not on my list.
Good fighter. I don't think he's gonna win his next fight though, and that's why I have spoiler alert Dariush ahead of him.
I got, or 15 through 10 is Joel Alvarez, Grant Dawson, Benoit Saint Denis, Michael Chandler, Fazayev, and Renato Moicano. So you've got Moicano exactly where he actually lay. Um, at number 9, I've got Benoit Saint Denis. What do you say on the matter?
I do not have Benoit Saint Denis on there. I have Dariush at 9. Benoit Saint Denis. If you were a top 15 lightweight, you would have finished Kyle Prepolek within a round. That's all I gotta say to Benoit Saint Denis if he's watching this with French subtitles.
Yeah, with French subtitles is crazy. You said you had actually you had Darush where he was as well. Number 8, I'm gonna drop him 2 spots. I've got Dan Hooker dropping to number 8. Getting older, not as exciting to watch anymore. I think that Poirier fight took a lot out of him. So I got Dan Hooker dropping all the way down to number 8. What say you?
And this is one of my favorite fighters. And they're not letting him drop down to featherweight because I guess his bone density is too high, according to his own mouth and the UFC PIs, whatever the word is on him. They did some tests on him to see if he would be healthy for him to drop to featherweight, and they said no. So Rafael Safazev is staying around. I got him ranked up here. Very high level Muay Thai kickboxer. Fought Justin Gaethje twice. Both pretty close fights. He did get finished by somebody. Can't remember who it was. His name leaves me. But I like him where he's at here. And I think he's going to move up the rankings here eventually once some of these older guys
He
retire.
got finished in September of 23 by Gamrot.
Not a bad loss. We'll take it.
For number 7, for me, I've got the guy I just mentioned, Gamrot. Yeah,
Okay.
Gamrot. What do you get?
Mateus, I got Patty right here. I think his last performance was impressive. We'll see what he does from here. We'll see what his next matchup is, and I'll make my opinion known whenever it's named. But good performance from him in his last fight.
I got Patty at number 6 here. The next one on that list, it might be a little controversial for some people, but I don't really care. So go ahead and list your 6, and I'll go from 9 to 6.
I got Dan Hooker. I think he is gonna fight Sarukian. Is my prediction is what's about to happen because they have beef. I think that'll be an entertaining fight that he loses, but we'll keep him here for now.
So 9 to 6 is Darush, Patty, Gamrot, Hooker. So I don't really think, except for uh 7, I don't really think you had much of a change. Number 5 for me. This is where it may become controversial. He's fighting for a title, but I got Oliveira here at number 5. I don't think he's quite to the same level as the guys that I have above him on this list. He's getting older. He's not near as well rounded as these guys above him. In my humble opinion, he couldn't even finish and submit Michael Chandler, who's literally known for having some of the worst fight IQ known to man. So I think he's losing it. Spoiler alert for whenever that fight happens, Ilya Taporia is going to use this guy as a mop, unfortunately. So let's hear what you have to say, Mr. Barnes.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about Oliveira whenever I get to him. He's a little bit higher for me, but spoiler alert, he's not at number one. I got Gamrot at five. He fights here in about 10 days' time, so I'm gonna keep him there and think he's a good guy, and he's a hard-working daughter dater out of Poland, I believe.
I do believe you are correct. In this matter, I have Max Holloway at number four. Um,
Yeah.
Here we go. We done forgot about Max Holloway. I can see it in his eyes. He done forgot about Max Holloway. That is crazy work.
I would put Max Holloway above Gamrot. Honestly, I'll put him above Dustin, and we'll just continue on with the list. Yeah, but I got
That,
Dustin Poirier though. Next is all I know about it.
all right. Well, I have Max Holloway at four. I got Dustin Poirier at three, and I'm just gonna go ahead and finish it here. I got Justin Gaethje at two, and Armon at number one. So let's hear yours, I guess. Holloway forgetter. People forget, man.
People forget, man. Well, shit. Joe Rogan knows. So Holloway would be above Dustin, but just for the sake of getting the list out of the way, I have Gamrot, Dustin, Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, and Armand, who should be fighting for the championship, Sarukian. Oliveira, very liked fighter, very respected. I don't think he's gonna win either. I don't know why he jumps Sarukian. I don't know why Justin Gaethje thinks he should be jumping Sarukian either. Everybody thinks they should be fighting for the title, and it should be Arman Sarukian who has the best chance to beat Islam or Taporia. That's on my mama.
It's time for welterweight, Whit.
Oh Jesus, Kron, I'll let Kron take the lead on this one. Tell us your
Number
15, Kron.
15, Bilal Muhammad. You're an absolute fraudulent bozo. You're a money hungry grabber on Twitter, cunt. You got, just as I predicted, you got used as a mop by Della Maddalena. He broke your nose, he broke your orbital, he split your lip. You're an absolute fraudulent bozo. You'll lose your next three fights, fall off the rankings, and get ready to learn fucking PFL or Bellator, buddy, because that's where you're heading. Who do you got at 15?
Yeah, I got something that's controversial, but not as controversial as that. I got Colby Chaos Covington at 15.
Yeah, he's not on my list. I'll just go ahead and get that out of the way.
Colby Chaos Covington.
This one might be controversial too. This might be my worst one as far as controversy goes. I got Gilbert Burns falling all the way to 14. Half of it may or may not have to do with what he just did to me in UFC 5 in my career mode. The other half may have to do with the fact that he did not look good at all against Morales. You could say that's because Morales is great, but I think Gilbert's just getting old, man. I don't think he's got much more fights left in him. So I got him falling all the way to 14. What say you, Mr. Barnes?
I didn't want to put this guy here, but I'm putting Wonder Boy at 14. I wanted him to be higher. I think the people that are above him beat him. You know, I love Wonder Boy. He's 41, man. He's Tom Brady. He's 41, man. People
Fucking,
forget.
fucking Karate Kid, man. I got Wonder Boy at 13, so not too much different. So let's hear who you got at 13.
I got Gilbert Durino Burns. We are kind of in agreement on that. He fell off, man. And I think there's people that he can beat below him. I think he's at like 10 or something on the UFC website. I think he can beat Wonder Boy. I think he can beat Colby Covington, that's miraculously above him. But I don't think they're gonna do that courtesy to him. I think they're gonna give him another young prospect.
Yeah. I got at number 12, I've got Vicente Leque. Let's see who you got.
Yeah, spoiler. He didn't make my list. This may be shocking to some, but I'm getting Carlos Prates right here. I still think he's a very good fighter. See, okay, I'll preface it with this, right? Because we're at what? We're at 13 or we're at 12. My list is kind of in a weird order. We're at 13 or 12. From here until about 6 or 7, I think these guys can be all grouped together. I think they're all title challenger worthy. So take my rankings here with a grain of salt. I think a lot of them are interchangeable with how stacked this division is. But I'm sticking with Carlos Prates. I want to see him fight somebody exciting up the rankings.
Well, uh, for give me 1 second here. My computer's absolutely tweaking right now.
Yeah, and I had him at 12. Shit. Oh, well, that's where we're at, I think.
I pretty much capped at 11. I kept them. What the fuck is going on here? Something is
Weak.
absolutely tweaking over here. You know what? I screwed up my list. I'm gonna drop. I'll do the same thing you did. I'll put Colby Covington at 15 for the sake. No, I won't. 14 for the sake of this list. Fuck you, Bilal. Um, so I'm just gonna let you give me your 11th, and then I'll go to 10.
I got Michael Venom Page. I think he'd beat Carlos Prates. I hope that's not the fight that they make for my Carlos Prates fandom.
All right. So 10 for me, Leon Edwards. Fuck you as well. Go ahead and give me your 10, and then I will let the good people know where these people are ranked from 15 to 10.
I like Jeff Neal at 10. I think that's the same spot he's still ranked. I
All right.
don't
So
think
for
he's Venom Page, but he's a good guy, damn it. And he boxes like a motherfucker.
15 to 10 is Michael Page, Vincente LeCue, Carlos Prates, Wonderboy Thompson, Jeff Neal, and Gilbert Durino Burns. I'll start us off here at number 9. This is where I've got Michael Venom Page, and I've become a little bit higher on him as of late. I still think that he should have lost to Shara, and I'll forever be salty about it.
Give me the man of last Saturday, Michael Morales here. Impressive win. Nobody does that to Gilbert Burns. I like
Yeah, well,
Michael
he did
Morales.
so, unfortunately.
What he did. And we'll see where he goes from there.
This this might shock the absolute hell out of Wit right here. I got Carlos Prates at number 8.
Nice.
I think Prates, even though he lost his last fight to Machado Gary, I think he's still a pretty good fighter. He figured out that he was actually in an octagon in that last round and gave himself a little bit of a chance there. Got pretty close, but too little, too late, and he lost the fight. But I got him at number 8 here.
Yeah, I got the what is his ethnicity? The Irish cuck, Ian Gary here.
Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna move too much further up from where he's at, but there he is at number 8. Ian Machado Gary. And all of his
at
story.
number 7, I have Jeff Neal. I got him moving up a little bit on this list for me. You've already talked about him, so I won't talk about him too much more.
Ron, I already like your list. I like your list more than I like mine, by the way. Joaquin Buckley is next for me. Fighter man.
Keen Buckley, the freestyle fighter himself. Number 6, I'm a little higher on him, I guess, but I've got Michael Morales at number 6. I think that was a very impressive showing against the Hall of Very Good Gilbert Burns. So I got Morales jumping all the way up to number 6 here.
And this is kind of another spoiler alert for a future prediction video, but I got Kamaru Usman here. I think he's gonna have a people forget performance. I think he looked good in his combat fight. That's quite a bit. It's worth quite a bit in this day and age. The Kamzat Chimaev lost currency.
From 9 to 6 with Witt's pick right there, we've got Colby Covington, Michael Morales, Joaquin Buckley, and Ian Machado Gary. At number 5 for me, this is where I have Joaquin Buckley. I think that he will lose that fight, but I've got Usman a little higher on this list, so we'll keep it rolling.
I mean, number 5, I think this guy's gonna drop. It's Leon Edwards. I think he's gonna drop. I think the curse is gonna
Yeah, me
continue.
too.
I think he's gonna I mean, obviously Cron does. That's kind of what I'm saying. I like Cron's list a little bit more because I think it's more. I think it's more of the future. We'll see who Leon Edwards gets to fight next, and I'll see what I think his fate's gonna be, but I don't think it's looking very good for him. I'm just gonna put him for now.
I'm just having fun with it at this point. I got number 4, Ian Machado Gary. In reality, if I was taking this list serious, he'd probably be about 6, but I'm not because I don't like Leon Edwards and I really don't like Bilal Muhammad. So I got Ian Machado Gary at 4 here. I did like his performance in his last fight. I think he is exciting to watch, and I'm excited to see what else he can do here in the UFC.
Yeah, I got left guard's good brother here, Sean Brady. Looked very good, looked very dominant against the former number one contender and champion Leon Edwards. I don't think he deserves to fight for the strap next, which we already know he's going to fight for the welterweight strap next. The fight's been signed for, the location has not been chosen. Islam and JDM. So shout out Sean Brady, man, for his bounce back over his last 2 fights. We'll see what he does.
At number 3, I have Kamaru Usman. I do believe I agree with Whit on him having a people forget type performance against Joaquin Buckley, and we'll see what happens.
The wall. What's his last name, Cron?
Farad
I don't know.
Hamid.
That guy, yeah, I put him at 3. I don't really remember his name. I don't really remember.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember the name either.
The guy that just lost to JDM, that guy.
Oh, yeah, that guy. At number 2, I have Sean Brady here, and he absolutely dominated Leon Edwards in his last fight. I think it is all opponent dependent on who he gets next, on how he handles that.
I mean, at 2, I'm gonna take Shavkat Rakhmonov right here. I think he's the number one contender. Islam Makhachev is going to be fighting at welterweight. I think he's the number one contender. He's number one pound for pound. That spoils my list there. Both of them are great fighters. I think Shavkat is the boogeyman of this division. He's going to be able to beat anybody in here.
See, I didn't put Islam on here, so I've got Shavkat as the number 1 contender on my list. All
Yeah.
right, that moves us on to the next list, which is middleweight. And we will now flip back. I will let Mr. Barnes start us off at 15.
Let's see here, man. I got Paulo Costa. I wanted to put him higher. I think he's been disrespected a lot by Twitter and analysts. Fuck that. I'm not putting him at 15. I'm putting Brendan Allen at 15. I think he's very overrated. He has poor fight IQ and bad striking. He's lost his last 2 fights because he gets in his own damn way. And on top of not being an incredibly good striker, I think it leads to him being a number 15 on my list instead of higher.
At number 15, I don't think it's any surprise to anybody, especially not Wit. I'm going to have to slide my boy Shara Bullet Magomedov into 15th ranked on this list. Did lose his last fight to MVP, but it appears that MVP is going to fight in the other weight class, and Shara is going to stay around here. So I'm going to go ahead and put him at the rankings on that. And if I'm wrong, oh well, fuck him. He's going to clobber fuck Marc-Andre Barrio anyways.
Give me a Ray Shakosa at 14. That's where I'll set him. People forget, man.
You said Costa? I kept Roman where he was at on this list. They have him at 14. That's where I kept him. Roman Kopylov, I guess. That's how you say it. I've got him at 14.
Give me Jack Hermanson at 13. He should have never been removed. If you're going to keep flyweight friend, what was his damn name? Let's scroll up here. If you're going to keep Tim Elliott at 11, you got to keep Jack Hermanson, especially with the performance he had last year. He's fighting soon. I like Jack Hermanson at 13.
I got at 13, I got Abus Magomedov here. They have him listed at 15. I've got him up to 13 on this one. I think he's a little bit better than being the gatekeeper of this division.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to echo exactly what you said, Abus Magomedov. I think he's going to be fighting up the rankings here pretty quickly.
Number 12, I've got the Italian mob boss man himself, Marvin Vittori. I believe he's ranked number 10. Yes, ranked number 10. I don't think he's that good. He didn't impress me in his last fight. He's a decision merchant, but not bad enough that I'm going to take him off the list entirely. I got him dropping 2 spots to number 12 here.
Me, I got Martin Vittori as well. I think we're at 11 now. I
Yep,
have him one
number
spot below.
11.
Uh,
Huh.
and I have him one spot below. I think he's beating Brendan Allen in their highly contested beef fight here at 318. I like Martin
At
Vittori.
number 11, I've got Brendan Allen, so I won't spend any time talking about him because you already did.
Fuck it. Roman, whatever his middle name is, Delidze, or whatever his nickname is, I have him at 10. I think that's around the same spot he's at. What you got?
At 10 here, I got Jared Cannonier here. I've got him dropping 3 spots here. I've never been a huge fan of him myself, but I still think he deserves to be in the top 10, so I'll put him at the bottom of my top 10. So
This
from
is a
15 to 10, we've got Abus Magomedov, Roman Kopylov, Rainer DeRitter, Paulo Costa, Brennan Allen, and Marvin Vittori in the actual rankings. Who you got for 9?
I think this is a guy that should have gotten the boost after his last win against a very hyped prospect. I mean, Rainer DeRitter here at 9. Let's put some respect
That's
on the
who I
good
got
name.
as well.
Let's put some respect on his good name.
Yep, that's who I got as well. Number 9, DeRitter. Yeah, you already said it, so go ahead. Who you got for 8?
Yeah, number 8. This is a guy that's very loved by the MMA community, Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. I saw him at number 5 on Tapology whenever I was putting together the rankings just to make sure I didn't forget any guys. He's a good fighter. I don't know if he's going to be able to beat anybody above him, but I think these top 8 guys are going to be very closely contested for me as well, as far as where I want to rank them, especially like 5 through 8.
At number 8, I also have Anthony Hernandez.
Well, number 7. This is where we slightly disagree, but I put Cannonier up here. His people forget performance earlier this year against Rodriguez was impressive. I don't know why Rodriguez got that fight, but I think Cannonier, I don't think he's going to fight up. I think he might fight down. I hope they keep him in the rankings against some decent comp. He still has the power. He still has chin. He still has very decent takedown defense. Shout out Jared Cannonier, man.
At 7, I have Roman Dolidze here. I did like him in his last fight against Vittori. I think that 7's a good spot for him. That's where I've got him on my list.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I got Kyle at 6. I think he's 5 in real life. Good fighter, he has a bunch of vets above him. I think he could beat Izzy or Whitaker, but I want to see him fight him. Cannoneers is most impressive victory to date. He should be booked here pretty soon, I would imagine.
I got for number 6, that's where I got Robbie Whitaker at. Um, like you said, I believe he's got a fight coming up pretty soon here as well.
I
Mr.
got Rainer.
Robert Whitaker. What do you got for number 5?
Yeah, I got Bobby Knuckles. He's gonna be fighting Rainer soon. I think in Abu Dhabi. They like giving them those main events. I like this spot for him. I think he's still got a little bit left in the tank as being an elite middleweight.
At 5, I've got Israel Adesanya. I think this is a good spot for him. I'm not a huge Israel Adesanya fan, but I only drop him 1 spot out of respect for the future Hall of Famer.
4 is where I kept Izzy at the same spot. He's been training with David Goggins. Strickland is looking like to be the fight. They're gonna do the rematch. Pardon my squeaky ass chair. Um, I like Adesanya. His chin might be done, and if he gets knocked out by Sean Strickland, then his chin is in fact done. But we'll see how that fight goes. We'll see if he gets a title shot from it. I doubt either guy will because this division is pretty much in a logjam at the top.
Number 4 here is where I got Kyle Barallo. I do like him. I like a lot of these fighting nerds guys. I think 4 is a good spot for him. If it wasn't for Kamzat and DDP, I would think that this guy's got a shot at winning the title. He might still, but those are some hard guys to beat up there.
Some absolute bangers up here. We got Sean Strickland just challenged for the title at 312. Wasn't on a close fight, 49-46 by Dricus. Impressive defense for him as well. We'll see where they go from here with them as far as his career. Like I previously mentioned, I think Strickland and Izzy is going to be the fight, but it has not been officially announced yet.
I also have Strickland here at number 3, like you said. Honestly, kind of embarrassing performance against Driscoll's last fight. Um, Strickland's better than that. Don't know what was going on with him. Maybe he got too involved in Twitter beefs or fighting influencers in his gym again. So who knows? Uh, Go ahead with your. Just give me the last two.
I got Kamzat at 2, and I got Imavov at 1. Kamzat, his health and his activity is why I don't have him as high. The Bobby Knuckles performance is generational, but if you look at Imavov, he knocked out Cannonier, TKO'd him last year. He beat Brendan Allen in France, and then he knocked out Izzy and Abu Dhabi in the second round. You know, I like that they're giving Kamzat the title shot. I think he deserves it after all the perils he's been through, but I don't think Imavov should have to fight anybody, and I think he should be next after the fight at 319 in Chicago.
I got it flipped. I got him evolving, then Kamzat. You know how I feel about Kamzat. I think Kamzat's going to win this title, and I think he's going to start a Khabib type run, and I don't think he's going to lose. And if he does lose, it's going to be a very long time before he does. So, that being said, that concludes the middleweight. We will now move on to what I do believe will be Whit's most hated list that I've made, the light heavyweight, due to him being a light heavyweight enjoyer. I'm going to go ahead and start us off. I'm going to put Navajo Sterling at 15. I know he's only been in the UFC a short time, but he has been impressive. I think he deserves to be at 15.
We agree. We agree. I had an extra spot on my list. As previously mentioned at the top of this video, I'm going to put Navajo there as well. He was my first honorable mention because I did put some guys in here for my notes that I like. I'm going to put Navajo Sterling there. I think he'll be ranked by the end of 2026 if he continues the trajectory he's at. He's active, he's young. What we got at 14?
Jonathan Walker. He's a cartoon character, the most inconsistent fighter maybe besides Paul Craig, and I've got him at 14 here.
I got the Baltic Gladiator, Modestus Bukauskas. His last fight was controversial, but he landed the more damaging strikes. I think it was judged correctly. Call me biased, call me whatever you want, but if you're throwing pitter patter strikes the whole entire fight, when a guy's throwing overhands at your skull and he's rocking you, I think the guy's throwing the overhands and rocking you should get the nod, and I think they did it right. As far as Jonathan Walker's concerned, it's hard for me to put him on this list due to the fact that he has the chin of an 8-year-old going against his dad. What we got at 13?
13, I've got Bogdan Guskov at number 13, Mythical Pool. 12, number 12 is where I've got Bukauskas at,
The Baltic Gladiator. Yeah.
the Baltic Gladiator.
I got a prospect that I think is going to get ranked very soon. He's fighting Alonzo Minifield on one of these cards upcoming. Omar Sy out of France. He had a impressive performance against Dewon Jung. The rankings are in his future.
Number 11, this is where I have Nikita Krylov at. Suffered, I believe he got knocked out in his last fight. Do correct me if I am incorrect.
Dominic Reyes on his title run. Did happen to be a victim of. At that same
Yes,
spot.
he got Conor McGregor after, or he got what happened to Conor or to Jose Aldo done by him from Conor McGregor. That's what happened to him.
Now from this guy until I say the name Dominic Reyes, I have these guys kind of in the same pool. It's about 6 or 5 guys. I think I have them ranked very closely in my mind. I think they all could be title challengers. Obviously, all of them will not be, but I think they're good fighters. Right here, I got the professional, the Russian, the GOAT, Azamat Murzakanov. Give him a better fighter than Brindison Ribeiro after he knocks him out in the first round, please. That's all I got to say about it.
Number 10, this might be controversial, but I think you might be the only one that thinks it, that I know. I got Jan Blachowicz at number 10. I was
Damn.
not very impressed. I was not very impressed with him in his last fight.
Damn.
He I got him dropping all the way to number 10. He's getting old too, man.
Damn. I wouldn't do that to OG. I wouldn't do OG like that, but shit.
I would.
Give me Khalil Roundtree at 10, man. I think he took a lot of
Damn,
damage.
that's damn near just as bad.
I mean, I think he's 8 on the UFCs, but a lot of people are going to have him ranked higher because of the prayer fight, and
He's
that was
number
very,
7.
yeah, he's number 7. I mean,
Dropped him 3 spots.
I think he's good. He hasn't beaten the guys that I have ahead of him, and people are going to say it's disrespectful because both two of the guys ahead of him just lost recently. But Khalil took like 3 fights worth of damage in that fight, and I think that's going to affect him at his next bout here in Azerbaijan.
Number 9 is where I have the professional, Azamat Murzakanov. Um, I won't spend too much time talking about him because you already did.
It's young man. Yeah, we got Volkan Ozdemir, No Time Ozdemir on here. Shout out to No Time Ozdemir, very good fighter. I wish he was able to beat Carl Solberg, but he didn't beat Carl Solberg, and you know, we'll see if we'll see who they give him next. I hope they give him like a Bogdan Guskov. He needs a layup of a fight.
He's not going to like this one, ladies and gentlemen. I've got Zhang Min Yang at number 8. I like him. Whit doesn't. I like him. I think he's good. And I think he's going to absolutely clobber fuck the man that is fuck Johnny Walker.
Oh, he's gonna butt fuck Jonathan Walker. It's it's not really a question. My question is he beating anybody above him? But in this spot, give me Nikita the Minor Krylov. I want to believe that it was just a fluke. I just want to in my heart of hearts as a Nikita Krylov Glazer, and as a disappointed young man. He is going to be fighting. He did get signed for a fight. I fail to remember who. It might be Bogdan Zarbidik, Guskov. I think he'll bounce back. What we got next?
For me, at number 7, this is where I have Uzdemir. We've already talked about him, so
I got title run Dominic Dominator Reyes right here. I hope he continues with it. We'll see what he does, man. He's probably going to get Alexander Rakic, I would imagine. That would make sense to me.
second here. Yep, I've done it. I knew I was forgetting somebody. That was him. That was the one I was
Probably.
forgetting. Fuck it. Standing on business, man. Number 6 is where I've got Khalil Roundtree Jr. That's probably why everyone's like, from here on out, everyone for me is like one thing up, except for this next guy and John Blachowicz.
Yeah, I think mine might be exactly what the UFC's is I have Jamal Hill right here. I think Jamal Hill's not in the right spot. I know that. I think he's above Rakic, but I have him below Rakic. I think he's
For
gonna
me,
collapse.
number 5, I've got Dominique Reyes.
Dominator. Yeah, give me the Rocket right here. Give me Alexander Rakic.
Number 4, I got Jamal Hill.
Jamal Hill. Give me Jan on this spot. This is where I'm gonna keep Jan in that stratosphere of top 5.
Number 3 is where I've got Carlos Olberg at. I believe that's where he's at on the actual rankings too. It is, and then 2 and 1 for me. They're in order, so it goes Carlos, Yuri, and Pereira. Or Pereira.
We are right. Well, but me, and the UFC are all in consensus on the top 3 on this one. I think it's kind of a no-brainer. I want to see Olberg Yuri because I think Yuri is going to unleash violence upon him after he gets his fucking master's degree. Can't believe he's getting a master's degree. Shout out to Yuri. That dude's absolutely nuts. And,
Facts.
Rakic, I think him and Dom Reyes are going to have a cool title fight here. Or not a title fight, a cool eliminator fight. That's an exciting fight. There's a lot of exciting fights to make at 205. People like to shit on 205, but if the UFC plays their cards, they have a lot of young upcoming contenders despite not being that deep of a division with only like 35, 36 guys in it. We'll move on to heavyweight, but shout out to light heavyweight, man. People forget.
Yes, we will indeed move on to heavyweight. I'm just gonna tell the good people now. My champion of the heavyweight division is Tom Aspinall. John Jones is not the champion for me. Keep that in mind for you as we get further into this list. Number 15, I have Martin Boudet here at that spot, which is where he's at in the actual rankings.
Give me Vitor Petrino here. He just moved up recently. I believe he's fighting the former Bears defensive end defensive tackle. Played for the Bears and the Jaguars, and he fought recently and he lost to Mario Pinto. Can't remember his name. But he beat him. He's going to fight him pretty soon. I think he's going to win that very easily after his unfortunate run at light heavyweight. I think everybody besides Ryan Spann that moves up to from light heavyweight to heavyweight is going to have a decent run and get ranked. I don't think he's a exception to that, unless your name is, of course, Ryan Spann. What you got at 14?
I'm trying to find this for you. You said he lost to Mario Pinto. His name, the only person Pinto has fight is Austin Lane.
That is him. The former Jaguars, Bears defensive end, defensive tackle, Austin Lane. That's who Video Petrino is going to fight here within a few months. It is official.
At number 14, I have dropped him down a spot. I've got Mick Parkin here at number 14.
Parkin
Suffered a loss in his last fight to Tibura, if I remember correctly. Yes, his
I'm
first
not gonna
loss.
lie to the good people of knockout analysis. I kind of made my own rankings on this one. I disagree with the UFC's. I think the bottom like 3 or 4 guys are DEI, so I just put guys I thought were better than them on this list. Yeah, I put Mario Pinto at 14, even though he only has one fight in the UFC. I think he beats Mick Park and Martin Buday and Tuivasa, so I put him on this list. Shout out to him.
13, I have Kennedy Nzechukwu. He was 15th ranked at one point. The fight that he was supposed to be in did not happen, and then they took him out of the rankings, which to me is outlandish. I believe that he is the 13th best fighter in the heavyweight division.
We agree. He should not have been taken out of the rankings. He absolutely starches Martin Buday. Um, I don't really think there's much to argue about whatsoever because Kennedy Nzechukwu might just be that guy, but we'll see.
At 13 or at 12, I have Taliesin Teixeira here. I'll move him up from where he's actually at. I think the just sheer prospect of him being 6'8" and huge in the heavyweight division is enough to make him a little more exciting than the 14th ranked fighter. So I'll put him at 12 here.
People's champ, Shamil Gaziev right here. Absolutely clobbered the North Dakota State Minnesota wrestler in his last fight. He's the people's champ for a reason. I think he's booked to fight pretty soon. I don't remember who it's against, but shout out Shamil Gaziev.
I have Gaziev at 11 here. Like you said, he clobberfucked Thomas the Train Peterson, who then turned around and clobberfucked Dontel Mays and got him removed from the UFC roster. So that's always a fun time.
I got Marcin, the gatekeeper Tiber here at 11. It's a great fighter. Great fighter. 39
At
years
number
old.
10, I have a guy that Whit is turning. He's coming around on. I got him. I've got Waldo Cortez Acosta here. Wasn't a fan of him in his first fight. Thought he was going to get dominated by Ryan Spann. He turned around and knocked Ryan Spann out. Witt's come around on him just a little bit, so I got him at number 10.
You got him at 10? Thought we were. Shit. Make some moves here. We'll see. We'll cross the bridge when we come to it. I got Sergey Spivak above Tibura. He beat him, so I got to put him there until Spivak got brutally subbed by Jailton, the absolute athletic freak, Almeida.
Number 9 is going to be where I've got the gatekeeper Tibura. I think that number 9's a good spot for him. I think he's a little bit better than outside of the top 10, and I think that he's number 9 in my list.
Give me Rizvan Kuniev. I think he's a good fighter. I don't think he should be getting a top five opponent as soon as he gets in the UFC. But I think he beats all the guys that I've listed. I think he loses to Curtis Blades, but I think he beats the guys I have listed. He was previously on steroids. He's no longer on steroids, so he's gonna have some good strength if he knows how to maintain it.
At number 8, that's where I've got Sergey Spivak, the Sambo fighter himself. I've got him at number 8. He's got a pretty big fight coming up too himself.
Give me Death Beam against the Earth. I know I got a 50-50 shot of surviving if I got Derek Lewis. He is my next fighter. You never know with him. I think this is a good spot for him. This is about, I would say, a new tier of fighters. We can start that as far as my rankings go.
I got Derek Lewis at number 7. Um, he's got a tough fight coming up against Teixeira. If Teixeira wins that fight, he might be the real deal, but there's also a good chance he might get his head knocked off by the UFC's all-time leader in knockouts, Derek Lewis.
See, Cron, you were the Cortez Acosta fan, but I put Cortez Acosta above Derek Lewis. I think I think he's about to go on a little run here. Going in there and beating a former light heavyweight like he just did. I put a lot of merit and a lot of respect into that. We'll see what he does here in his next fight. He is scheduled to fight Spivak. I think he's going to be able to pull that one out. Shout out to the Salsa Man.
At number 6, this is where I've got Sergey Pavlovich. I think that's a good spot for him on my list here.
At 6, I got Talos and Zikao Teixeira. Shout out to him. Um, he's gonna have to get past the Derek Lewis test, but even if he doesn't, I think he's gonna get another shot at somebody up the rankings. And I think there's a lot of opportunity. He made very quick work out of whichever Toffer brother's still at heavyweight, which is not super impressive, but he did what he was
That's
supposed to
Junior.
do. Did what he was supposed to do in under a minute. He's very strong, very long, no pause, and we'll see what he does here, man. I like Talos Teixeira at the heavyweight division.
Number 5 is going to be where I've got Jailton, the freak of nature, Almeida. I think he's not better than anyone that's above him, but I think he's got a puncher's chance.
Jailton Almeida, kind of my dark horse for the division. He is very, very good on the ground. He's not great on the feet. And that's where Curtis Razor Blades hit him with an uppercut. He's a fighter. I think he could be a threat to Tom Aspinall entirely because he's better on the ground than the people above him. But we'll see, man. He is also a brick shit house. I should mention what we got.
Number 4 is where I have Curtis Razor Blades. He Curtis has got an interesting career path, man. He always finds his way up to the top. Had to fight Derek Lewis, got absolutely fucking starched by a Derek Lewis bus driver uppercut. Got absolutely starched by Tom Aspinall. And we'll just see what happens for him next time. I don't know when his next fight is. I don't think he's booked for one anytime soon.
The fight with Rizwan has been rescheduled. I think they're fighting on in Azerbaijan or one of those cards for the 5th time. That fight's been rebooked, so we'll see if that fight's still cursed come fight week. I'll believe it whenever the bell rings for the first round as far as the Blades Cunha fight. But yeah, 4 I have Razor Blades as well. I believe we're at 4. Cron's already said I didn't entirely endorse Curtis Blades is very well rounded.
Number 3, that's where I've got the 6'7" freak of nature, Alexander Volkov. I believe that he's a very good fighter. He did get absolutely clobber fucked by Tom Aspinall, if I do remember correctly. Um, that's unfortunate for him, and we'll see how he fares next time.
Yeah, I mean I got Pavel at 3. I like Sergey Pavlovich. Has not looked like the same fighter his last 3 fights. That's something that's concerning, but we'll see once he fights somebody that's not super familiar with him. Alexander Volkov and Jairzinho Rosenstrike, who lost that fight, by the way. They were both former training partners who had worked with Sergey quite a bit, and I think he needs to fight somebody that's less familiar with his game, and he's going to have a lot more success. I don't know who they're going to give him. His last performance against Biggie Boy did not make a whole lot of fans for him, but I don't want to write him off quite yet.
Number two is going to be where I have Cyril gone. Um, Obviously, he's the best suited contender right now to fight for the heavyweight title should it be vacated from John Jones and Aspinall becomes the champion. But again, as previously mentioned, John Jones isn't my champion, so I'll spoil my list. Number one title contender for heavyweight for me is John Jones.
Yeah, I have a different take on it, but my two and one are gone in Volkov. Volkov's my one because Volkov, I think, should have been the rightful winner of the Volkov Gone fight, but they weren't going to give Volkov the title fight anyways because he's already lost to Tom and Cyril Gane hasn't fought Tom Aspinall yet. As far as I have Tom as my champ too for different reasons. Um, I do not think the fight's ever going to happen. I've I've kind of kept this point since the beginning of the year. The fight's not going to happen, and I think this fight's going to get signed for Madison Square Garden. And I think John is going to be injured and he is going to pull out of the fight. I say injured in quotations for the people listening to us on Spotify. I think he's going to pull out, and I think the UFC is going to be tired of John Jones's bullshit, and they're going to make it for the undisputed belt. And Cyril Gane's going to come in as the backup fighter, and he is going to be fodder and get destroyed by Tom Aspinall quite quickly. That is my prediction for what's going to happen with the heavyweight and how it's going to end.
It's going to happen, man. I think that John Jones is on the verge of retirement from what I keep reading, and from what he keeps making it sound like is he's already told everyone that he's retiring and people are just letting it drag. Don't know. No way to verify that. None of us are in John Jones' camp, nor do I want to be because I don't like cocaine and I don't want to get beat. So, either or, I don't drunk drive either. That's another thing you got to do to be part of his camp. But if anyone has any differing opinions on this, be sure to leave them down in the YouTube comments. Like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube channels. Be sure to check out our sponsors, and we'll have another video that we're going to make here shortly. We should have both these up fairly soon. This one's a little bit longer, but that's kind of what the plan was. So we appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you in the next one.